The past 12 months have been a bit gloomy, but manufacturers were there to cheer us up by releasing glorious new supercars that we'll never be able to afford. And 2020 has seen some incredible machines, including a more track-honed version of the McLaren 720S, a drop-top version of Ferrari's budget hypercar, and a car that has the potential to be the greatest driving weapon ever made. So here they are, the top 5 supercars revealed in 2020. But before I get into the list, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because we've got plenty more awesome videos coming in 2021. There's no car on this planet that we're more excited about than the GMA T50. More so than the Aston Martin Valkyrie, the Pininfarina Battista, and the upcoming 911 GT3. That's because the GMA stands for Gordon Murray Automotive, a small Surrey-based engineering firm led by McLaren F1 designer Gordon Murray. The T50 is essentially a modern incarnation of the F1 and the amalgamation of ideas that Murray hasn't been able to get off the drawing board until now. For example, Murray is known in the Formula 1 community as being the mastermind behind the Brabham BT46B, which featured a massive fan on the back of it that essentially sucked the car to the road. The car only appeared in the 1977 Swedish Grand Prix, which it won, but Murray is reviving the concept by fitting a gigantic fan to the back of the T50. It'll also have a bespoke 3.9 litre naturally aspirated V12, a manual gearbox and, just like the McLaren F1, a 3-seat configuration with the driver placed in the middle. It's expensive at £2.36 million before taxes and is limited to just 100 examples, but the T50 looks set to be the ultimate driving machine and, quite possibly, the end of the analog supercar era. The Ferrari SF90 Stradale was revealed to much fanfare in 2019, offering LaFerrari beating performance at a third of the price. Fast forward a year and it's the SF90 Spider stealing the headlines. It'll come as little surprise that the SF90 Spider does everything that the Stradale version can do, but allows you to rocket down the road with the roof off. That means you get the same 4-litre twin-turbocharged V8 engine that's hooked up to a pair of electric motors connected to the front wheels. Put the two together and you've got 986 brake horsepower and 900 Nm of torque, which is split across all 4 wheels. But the SF90 Spider isn't just a regular hybrid, it's a PHEV. That means that you'll be able to cruise for up to 15 miles in complete silence with the wind in your hair. We're pretty sure the SF90 Spider is the most powerful plug-in hybrid on sale, making its £425,000 price tag seem like great value for money. When Lamborghini launched the Huracan back in 2014, it was widely criticised for lacking the level of flair its customers and fans had come to expect. Just look at the Aventador. Lamborghini has tried to rectify it with the Performante and the Evo, but the new STO serves as a slapdown to anyone who calls the Huracan boring. In a nutshell, the STO is a road-going version of the company's Trofeo racing car, which itself is derived from the mental GT3 used by professional teams across the globe. The STO is some 47 kilograms lighter than the Performante at 1,339 kilos, with 75% of the bodywork being made of carbon fibre. The 5.2-litre naturally aspirated V10 gets a boost too, with peak power coming in at 631 brake horsepower and 656 Nm of torque. We were lucky enough to drive a prototype version during the car's final stage of development, and we were surprised at just how accessible it was. Oddly enough, we were also asked to provide some technical feedback to Lamborghini's engineers. So, if you buy an STO and love it, you can thank the team at YesAuto for their expert feedback, and if you don't like it, blame Tyler. He's the one who drove it after all. It's difficult to think of how McLaren could make the 720S any faster. Couple its 710 brake horsepower twin-turbo V8 with McLaren's Trick adaptive suspension and a £215,000 price tag, and the 720S becomes not only one of the greatest all-round supercars ever made, but it also knocks on the door of million-pound hypercars. Then, earlier this year, McLaren announced the 765 LT, a track-honed supercar that takes the 720S formula and dials it up to 11. As the name suggests, the supercar produces 765 PS, or 755 brake horsepower in old money, which is 35 bhp shy of the limited run Senna hypercar. It'll go from 0 to 62 in 2.8 seconds, but what makes the 765 LT so special is its ability to devour lap times. The car features numerous bodywork revisions, including a bigger diffuser and a reworked front end that helps generate even more downforce. It's not really a long tail, given that the back end is only 9mm longer than the old car, but the 765 LT is another truly special track car. While we found it a little bit of a handful on track, it's a relative bargain at £280,000, given that it'll embarrass most hypercars costing 4 times as much. The Porsche 911 Turbo has always been a bit of a jack of all trades, supremely fast in a straight line while also being comfortable enough to take on weekend getaways to the south of France. And while the new 992 generation builds on those foundations, the 2020 Turbo S may be the ultimate 911. First, the numbers. In the back is a 3.7 litre twin-turbo flat-six engine producing 641 brake horsepower and 800 Nm of torque, which is sent to all 4 wheels. A 0 to 62 dash takes a very conservative 2.7 seconds, and if you keep your foot pinned to the floor, you'll reach a top speed of 205 miles per hour. You also get rear-wheel steering and adaptive dampers as standard. It may weigh some 1,640 kilograms, but the Turbo S feels incredibly nimble in the corners. And despite all the onboard gadgetry, the chassis is supremely plainful and the steering has been greatly improved over the old 911. But above all, it's hilariously fast and a great way to spend £156,000. For more car news and reviews, head on over to YesAuto.com.